Welcome to Toffee TV. It is live at 5. Yes, it's a little bit after 5 o'clock. That's because we are letting the Red Men TV do their live o'clock. We've trademarked live at 5. They do a 5 o'clock transfer show live, and we're nice like that. We're nice like that. We let them have their little, and then we've been coming on late, but that'll all end on Monday.
The little moment in the sun.
Yeah.
Let them have it.
Everton have made a signing, but it's for the women's team. They've brought in Swiss ace Alicia Lehmann from West Ham. Good signing. Follows the arrival of Jill Scott, of course, on loan from Manchester City. So, good signing. I'm just Google it. Good
technique.
Good. I watched it in the West Ham ladies documentary on BBC One. When you watch that, it was dead good. It made I think your son runs it.
Oh no.
And you might as well be selling used cars. Honestly.
Yeah, he's the white boy, isn't he? Without saying anymore. He's most definitely
Benjamin Fakel's in at number 1 on Patreon. He says, "Hello YouTube lot, why not come over to Patreon for only £3 a month?" I think it's about £3.50 now with inflation, Benjamin. But that's not our fault. Jay Muncie says, "Oh, hi game day." Joe Hilton says, "Anyone else nervous for this one?" Yeah, not nervous as such, but just, yeah. James Shorting says, "Howdy gents." Josh Nathan says, "Arguably the biggest night of the season so far. Come on, you Blues. Here early for live at 5. Gary Ward says, "Howdy." And Ethan says, "Thoughts on Odegaard joining Arsenal?" Baz.
Yeah, good signing for Arsenal. If he settles, good player. Good player. It's just the physicality of the Premier League. It's whether or not he can cope with it. If he can, he'll be a good signing for them.
Andy Walker says, "Did you hear the comments in Parliament today by Liberal MP Leila Moran, who said the sanctions should be made against Putin alloys and specifically named..."
Specifically?
Yeah, Abramovich and Usmanov, and mentioned us by name as a club, and he says, "Do you think this could be bad news for us?" No, because Usmanov's actually got nothing to do with Everton Football Club. No. There are no links at
directly
all between us.
And she's having a go, is she?
Gareth Hughes says, "Well done, Ella Sims. First league game and 2 goals in 5 minutes. Keep it up." Simon says, "Hi, Gary." Big Jan says, "Evening goal." Richard Falk says, "Big game tonight, but with a big game player in James, so up the Toffees for a 19-0 win." He's gone big. He's gone bold.
He's gone big.
That's what he does.
See what that Colombian pundit said? James.
What did he say?
He's not top draw. He's just ex-Colombian pundit on ESPN. Said he's all right at free kicks. That's it. Fair play.
Clearly doesn't say.
Lewis Roberts says, "Up the Toffees, the best blues channel about." It's right, Lewis.
Big Jan says, "Excellent start for our loanees. Is there any news on comings or goings, Zirkzee, etc.? You'd have to watch the transfer show, which will be up as soon as Ned has edited it." He's having a bit of a mare. AJ No says, "You can't go out, you can't go the pub, so why not spend just £3, just £3 a month for some of the greatest content you'll ever see on the internet?" Did I just hear that? £3, that's all. And get Ped the kitchen he deserves. Sign up now, like right now, while watching live at 5 on YouTube. Just click in the description, simple as that. It as the Meerkat says, simples. These people just are voluntarily offering to be adverts for
Our
us.
patrons are just...
I'm not getting a new kitchen. All the money goes back into couches and cameras. We go to that shop. Does the shop go couches and cameras? Very niche. Very niche. Not Andy Walker says, "Not only a new kitchen for Ped, but what about a new fridge for Dick L?"
Dick L.
Doesn't he need a George Foreman?
He needs a George Foreman more than somewhere to put his meat, definitely. The Game and Toffee says, "Hope you're both well. Do you think we'll show up and get a result tonight?" I don't really think we can say we can level that at them for not showing up.
Yeah.
We're in the best position we've been in for a while, but it is a big game. It's a tight game. Listen, Leicester are a good side, so all we can hope that what I feel like if Everton play to their maximum, they'll win the game. That's how I look at it. But Leicester are a very good side and a dangerous side. So fingers crossed we get the result.
Gareth Hughes says, "Oh, hi YouTubers, get on Patreon, people. I was a YouTuber for a few months before I stepped onto Patreon. Been nearly 2 years now, and it's the best money I've spent. It's worth every monthly fee just to see our patrons moaning about the YouTube comments. There's a whole live of 5 about the YouTube comments every Thursday. Can't say it's not real.
There is a whole live of 5.
Shenlar says, "Oh, hi live, actually a 5. Roxley says, "Massive game tonight. We tend not to win these pivotal games season after season. Let's hope tonight it's different and there's a new normal." Mike Barrett says, "It's 5 all the way until it's 6. Them's the rules and time is relevant." Is it relevant or is it just something that was made up by some fella? Ryan Elliott says, "Hi guys, brief update from me. Finished The Last of Us today. What a ride. It's one hell of an achievement. If you haven't, go play the game immediately." Not immediately. Watch Live at 5 first. But how are you coping with the Last of Us 2?
Come down. There was definitely a come down over the weekend when I finished it. Because your mind does think, oh, I'm going to play that. So I just went back on and restarted Valhalla last night.
It's not the same though, is it?
It's not the same. Valhalla's boss, but it isn't. It's not the same. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the same. But it is boss. So I'm getting back into that. But The Last of Us 2 what an incredible game.
James Shorting says, "Hi lads, hope you're okay. Rank the stands in Goodison from 1 to 4. Can be based off anything. I'll start. Street End Bullens, Park End Main Stand."
What's that, sorry? Rank it?
Rank it, yeah. So best to worst, I would imagine.
Bullens first, because I sit in it, so it's miles better. Street End second. What were the third and fourth?
Well, I mean, the other two
The Park Stand, Main Stand. Park Stand will be third, because it's behind a goal and they're always better. Main Stand fourth. But I sat in the Main Stand for years. Yeah. Season ticket for 15 years or something in the Main Stand at least. And I loved it.
I loved the top balcony when I had a season ticket.
Too high for me.
It's
too high for me.
Yeah, it's just normal for me. Yeah.
I've jumped off it, but still too high.
I mean, we have both jumped off it.
We have.
I'd go Gladys Street, Park and Bowen's Main Stand. Yeah. I don't care.
I like sitting on the side, that's why.
That's fair enough. Kevin Rex, Big T.
Big T
says, "Hi guys, finally I caught live at 5. Missed the last few due to running around like a headless chicken. All I'll say is homeschooling. Come on Blues tonight, let's overtake you know who tonight. Do you guys think that Leon Bailey signing must happen before the end of January transfer market? Demetri Gay going to Leverkusen surely is a good sign. He really would be a big game changer for us and the perfect out ball when games are tight and we are playing on the counter." Nah, that's not going to happen, is it now?
No.
I mean, a lot of money. I think they're preparing for life without him, but I don't think that'll be to the end of the season. But I think they are. I think that's a sign that they are preparing for life. Great move for Gray, by the way. Great move. Paul Callow says, "I love Ted Lasso, but what did you make of the red changing rooms when Richmond played away at Everton in Ted Lasso? It was poor that they tried to pass off Craven Cottage as Goodison Park too. Even had the Fulham crest on the wall as the camera panned around, reminded you of Dream Team." He said production value. Listen, they weren't. Maybe they should have showed. They could have showed Goodison, couldn't they, on the outside at least? They could have just showed Goodison. The inside, yeah. I mean, that's only going to annoy us. It's not going to annoy anyone else, is it? Yeah, and obviously it wasn't in Liverpool, even though they said it was in Liverpool. But yeah, just show Goodison on the outside. Phil McCauley says, "Hi guys, who wins in a fight, Big Rom or Zlatan?"
Zlatan, all day, every day, and probably on a Sunday.
I think Zlatan would tire him out, take him for a little jog, tire him out, and then
start off with you can control the ball.
Yeah,
first.
I mean, and then round out him. Andy Walker says, "Maybe we should have a bet on how many minutes into the show someone on YouTube says, when is Gabama back?"
Maybe.
Ben Armstrong says, "Right lads, Reece James dropped for Tuchel's first game. If he doesn't take to him, do you think it could be someone we'll go after in the summer?"
He'd be a good
signing. Playing 3 at the back, isn't he, I think?
Yeah. He'd be a good signing, but Tuchel won't be. He'll have a good look at him. He's not going to be making any hasty decisions, is he? No. Do you know what I mean? Let me do a couple of these. Godfrey, David Sullivan, Godfrey in midfield. We could be better with athleticism. Anthony Young says, "Hi lads, my prediction is 3-1 to Everton up the Toffees." Glenn Watson says, "Baz only. Toffee TV goes on an episode of The Chase. I'm last up, as in me. Ped, Ned and Piv are all home with low offers and a total of 10 grand. The Vixen offers you minus 5 grand, 9 grand or 110. What are you going for?" I'd like to go for 110, but that only puts me one step ahead of the Chaser. So I'm going to go with the 9. I wouldn't beat the shitbag and take minus 5. So I'd go with the 9 and try and get us 19 grand between the four of us. That'd be a nice little day out. So that's what I'd go for. Pippin says, "We beat our opponents because of hard work and determination, not because we believe we are superior. Up the Toffees." Yeah. Michael Wood said, "Baz, would you go for 110 grand just to pay for a week's wage of Leon Bailey?"
Mason Mount has been dropped as well.
Good.
And Tabby Abrahams, he's got rid of all the
scored hat-trick at the weekend. Michael Green, our last one, go over to you. Says, "Balassi has conned the whole fan base, especially Toffee." I've said that. Why am I saying that again?
How? Right?
I don't know.
How have we been conned by?
No one's been conned.
Interviewing somebody. Is that like saying, when someone gets any interview they've ever wanted, that they have some kind of personal attachment to them?
Berserk, absolute berserk outlook. Jacob Block says, "Baz, thanks. I sent a video the other day to Gary, my mate. Says, love the stuff, thanks." Nice one, Jacob. Nice one, mate. Let's hope we do the business tonight. And Sam Quine says, "This is our biggest game of the season so far." Go on then.
AJ No says, "What sort of kitchen are you after, Ped, to help you and your family? When all these wonderful YouTube views subscribe to Patreon, as Andy Walker pointed out, for just £3 a month, you can get Dick Hell a fridge. So therefore, by spending just £3 a month, the money would be used for a pint. You would sort everyone out." It's a fair point. I'm not after a kitchen, I must admit.
It would sort Dick out, wouldn't it? Dick needs a George Foreman, doesn't he?
He does.
Definitely.
He needs somewhere to slap his meat. And there's nothing better than slapping your meat on a George Foreman and then closing that lid and hearing the sizzle. It really is amazing. Keith Powell says, "Hi lads and fellow patrons. Good luck for tonight. Listen, I have a serious question. I need to ask about the rules of the game and statements from governing bodies, etc. Tonight is not the right time or show. So could you let me know when it's best to send it in?"
For which?
Just send it in, Keith. Anytime. Anytime you want to send a video, and just send it in.
Oh yeah, just send it in.
Big Jan says, Big Jan. Yeah, we'll do hearts. Do go red.
Hit the like button.
Alfie says, "After last night in the Milan derby, who wins a fight between Romans?" That time we've answered that. That time we'd murder him. Simon says, "Oh, hi, 5:15ish, lol." Yeah, whatever. Maz says, "Think it's important not to tinker with the back four that's been so successful for us since December. Would only bring Dean in to shift Godfrey to DM. Then when Dean pushes up the pitch, Godfrey goes left back." I don't think it quite works like that, but I get what you're saying. 3 centre-backs and a full-back, that's what I'd go for. Nick Boswell says, "Oh, hello, live at 5, live as sometime after 5. Again, these jokes are rubbish. Marley says, "Oh, hi, lads." Stuart Thompson says, "Is it just me, or have Everton..." I don't know if I can actually answer that question, or even read it out. He says, "Is it just me, or have Everton ladies just signed a footballer on earth? Sorry, West Ham, poster sales are going to go down for you now, lol." It's a bit sexist, that. I mean, you know what I mean? Listen, it's just a bit sexist if you think about it in context.
Can you not say someone? Is he saying she's nice looking?
He did say they were prettiest.
Well, I think you can say that, can't you?
Well,
Are we moving into a thing where you can't even appreciate whether what you think someone's nice looking? Is that where we are now? You can't say a word about anyone. Because there's literally a show on ITV every day that literally just pours over men taking clothes. In fact, ITV obviously don't get any memos because Ashley Banjo and his 5 mates were trying to get the banjos out stripping.
Right.
And it was a literal hour show on telly.
You can say what you want, well, exactly, right?
So
but I don't want the people attacking me over this.
No, but it's Stuart's opinion, I think,
It's our channel. we get reprimanded for it.
No,
we get the slap on the wrist. They've obviously bought 22-year-old, very, very good
footballer
striker.
who happens to be nice, good looking or whatever. That's the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah. The poster sales will go down because they've lost such a good striker. Joe Hilton says, excited to see Tom Davis YouTube. Marley Hope says, why does everyone on YouTube hate Balassi and Besic?
They do, don't
They haven't killed anyone.
They do hate them.
AJ No says, if every fan account like Toffee TV, Redman TV, AFTV, and I understand on all the other accounts, for example, the ones that used to be on Ball Street all manage the football club each, who would win the League Cup? So it would be used to in charge of us, Chris and Paul and Redman in charge, etc., etc.
We'd defo win it. Out of all of those channels, we've sat in the room and had an actual football conversation with all of those people. We will definitely win it. Definitely.
Gary Ward says, Patreon really is worth the money.
People are loving the Patreon, aren't they? Know what they're trying to do, don't you? They're trying to build up the Patreon community so big that we don't come onto YouTube. There's no YouTube lives.
Jay Cablet says, if we win tonight and do the double over title contenders Leicester and go above title contenders Liverpool, will the media remember we exist? No.
Someone's had the pop at them today, haven't they, in the media? Have had the pop at Everton being ignored by the media, not Evertonian, just saying it's how like other clubs like Leicester and that put into a championship race when Everton. I'm not. No. I'm just saying. And in fact, I think you've put it out as well. Unibet, the actual official Unibet accounts have gone. Why are Everton ignored? It's a disgrace. Or something.
Big Jan says, finished watching Narcos and now started watching El Chapo. Is it worth watching as not as good as Narcos so far? I've not watched El Chapo. I think that I watched a couple of episodes of El Chapo, but stick with Narcos. Don't cross over your Mexican cartel dramas.
When we get over 100 likes, I'll start reading some YouTube comments out. That's all I'm going to say.
Paz is just throwing it out there.
You've got him, haven't you?
Go.
It's likes or it's super chat. It's one or the other.
Let's see. Phil McCauley says, have you guys seen Night Stalker on Netflix? Decent little watch, but lock your doors and windows. Also, I'm a killer. Are you? Is a good watch. Halfway through the series, obviously you can tell I like documentaries. Phil, I was watching the second episode of Night Stalker the other night at 4 o'clock in the morning in bed, and that bit where the woman says that the Night Stalker opened their window and they were very lucky to be alive afterwards, and I was just sitting there going, like, you know, just cranking my neck.
What is it supposed to be real?
It is real.
And there's a Night Stalker, there's what's some ghost or something that comes and kills you.
It's a serial killer from the 80s, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Well, that will happen, won't it? It's like walking around blooming Yorkshire with, you know,
it's not
3 o'clock in the morning and going, oh,
not going to happen, is
someone got me.
This fella was it was mad.
Right, let's go on. Matthew Berkeley says, all right, lads, Sims got a couple last night, which is a great start. But what do the club want to see over the whole loan to convince them to give him 13 minutes when he returns?
Nothing. He's never playing in the first team, ever.
What he would have to do at Blackpool is he'd have to really improve his hold-up play and work a lot harder, I think, put himself about a little bit. There's obviously, he's a natural goal scorer. I mean, I've seen the 2 headers last night. Weren't the greatest bit of marking, but the lad's got to get in the right place and score the goals, and that's all he can do. So over the next 4 months, whatever, just build on that. And Everton will be monitoring him, and hopefully he's got to look at the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and go, what does he do in a game like that I'm not doing, and put that work rate in, and then we'll see. We'll see, won't we? Michael Billington, come on you Blues. Shout out to Graham and Mikey Billow. Okay. Johnny Hodgson says, bold statements here, gents. Tom Davis masterclass tonight.
I wouldn't say masterclass, I'd say neat and tidy performance.
Just get stuck in. That's all I'm going to say. Miguel Alonso says, I've got to be honest, I hate Balassi with a passion. Why?
I don't know why.
That's a bit strange. I don't mind if people... I'd never try to change your mind because it's your opinion of him. But all I can say is that the times I've spoken to him, he's a nice fella. Whether you think he should be playing for Everton or not, is your opinion, is a different thing. And but he's not going to be for much longer,
Everton give him a contract.
So it is what it is, isn't it?
I mean, why... Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. What I would say is, Yannick Bolasie wants to play football, right? There's somebody I know who plays for Everton who doesn't want to play football.
Yeah.
And his name rhymes with Happy and Health, right?
You've said it.
And he clearly does not want to play football. And it's almost like, oh, forget about him. But Bolasie, up to you whether you like Bolasie or not. He said some stupid things on the internet.
At least his kind of like sin, if you like, or whatever you want to call it, his mistake is interacting on the internet with
Which people
fans.
moan that people don't do.
Moan, yeah, we all go on about, oh, they removed themselves, footballers, and you can't do this. He tries to talk with people, and yeah, seeing him after the United game, his opinion when we got beaten the cup, he was like, I felt like we should have gone for it more. He might have been right in that game. Maybe we didn't. We just didn't attack as much as maybe we should have. I don't know. But his opinion is, he felt like, and people jumped on him for it. It's like, it's only his opinion. If you don't like him, it's fine. But I don't think it needs to get personal. He's going anyway, isn't he?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, in just over 4 months, he won't be an Everton player anymore anyway. Yeah. Whether he goes now, I'm sure. My only view of it from Bolasie's perspective is, if there's not a club that he really wants to sign for at the moment, why should he leave? But there's other players I want gone just the same.
Cal reckons tonight's team's going to be Pickford, Holgate, Keane, Mina, Godfrey, Richarlison, Davis, Gomez, Dean, James, DCL. That's what he reckons. I think that's a very tackling lineup. That
is Coleman in that team?
No.
Gonna say Coleman won't start.
Gareth Hughes says, I smoke, I drink, and I like an odd flutter. However, I draw the line at big pizzas. I think you are a disgrace, Baz. The day Papa John sponsored us is the day I never step foot in Goodison again, and I post a strongly worded tweet.
I don't get this.
Baz can't cope with pizzas either, though. He's anti-pizza. Baz cannot cope with big pizzas.
Yeah, normal pizzas I'm all right with a couple of slices.
Kryptonite to him.
I don't know where that. You've gone
the wrong side.
Got the wrong end of that stick yesterday. Totally. But you see it on. Paul K. Melbourne says, as it stands, we're due to play Man United on the Monday and Spurs on the Wednesday. No news of fixture change yet. Obviously, the league it's getting moved. The announcement will be soon. It's getting moved. So just look out for it.
Brian Gardside said, finally made it to Live at 5.
Yes, Brian.
James Shorting says, who would you say are the top 5 best players of all time? That's a show. That is not a Live at 5 question. Come on, mate. Alfie Boy says, can't stand West Ham fans because Moyes got them to top 4. Tell them Rice is overrated and they all jump on you. Can't be letting them finish above us. Alfie Boy, I really don't associate with West Ham fans. They're having a decent season. They're on the same point of us as us. Moyes has purely Everton them up, haven't they? They just made Tingo a permanent sign today as well. Barame. They're having a good season. I'm not asked, mate. Leave them to it. The way I look at things at the moment is, and I understand your pain, because I've been there myself. The way I look at it is, it's up to us, isn't it? If we're better than these teams, we'll finish above them. If we're not, we won't. But we're building.
The thing with West Ham is, if they're still above us come May, you'd say fair enough, but they won't be. I watched a lot of their game last night.
But you know what?
There was 2 awful football teams.
Do you know what, though? Time will tell.
They will, that's all.
In 5 months, we'll all know. So there's no point sitting here. I see these endless debates about who's better, and I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
When it's a player, we'll know when they hang the boots up. We're not going to know now. We're not going to know next week. We'll know when they hang the boots up who was the better player. Yeah. And the same with the league table. We all get dragged into it. Where we're like, you're a crap, and they're crap, and then the next minute.
Arsenal were in the relegation fight the other week. Now they're 2 points behind us. We were 9th, and everyone was like,
Southampton were top, and now they're 11th. League table doesn't really mean much till the last weekend of the season, really.
Moyes has done a good job there, but he's done what everyone knew he'd do, which is get them organised. And the way this league is, it's like Aston Villa. People go overboard about Villa. Aston Villa they're all right. They're a decent side, but everyone's beating everyone. I watched Liverpool, Leeds and Newcastle last night. Everyone was clamouring over Leeds after 6 weeks. The Newcastle had 23. When have Newcastle ever had 23 chances in a game? And they somehow conspired to lose the game, right? Leeds won the game away, but Leeds are just... They fly forward, but they're wide open. The league's mad.
Football's not real.
No,
it's not
the
real
league is mad. So
it's not real.
We'll know, won't we, at the end of the season? Like
AJ No says, out of Ped, Baz and Ned, in rank order, best to worst, who is the best at Pez, football, singing, gaming, and best football knowledge? Or is Ned the dark horse? I think Ned might be best at singing.
Yeah.
We're probably going to have to give him that one, aren't we?
He is.
We're going to have to give him that one.
Definitely.
Pez, football, and gaming. How can you judge gaming? How can you judge? I can't go, I'm well better at The Last of Us than you are.
You might be.
Maybe. But we're not, you know what? We're not going to start an internal battle here. We're not going to play your game. We're not going
You'll see when we start, because someone's asked there, not basics, ignore me. Urban Sushi has said any PES or FIFA soon. A lot of calls for PES, a lot of calls.
No, the only way we can do it, right, because it's very time. I mean, I've got videos, a couple of videos on my desktop to edit.
Yeah.
But it's very time consuming.
So how can we get round it? Because everyone
this is the way we could get round it, right? We could do maybe live, a live PES league thing.
Yeah.
So we did like a show where we did every week, he did a live one.
Yeah.
And then maybe for PES, did the whole game. And then we could go into YouTube then and edit it down.
Okay.
And that might be a lot less time consuming. If we had Ned over there, and we could do that if we could do that, possibly.
Well, let's do that then.
All right.
Let's do that. So soon then, soon.
Not put any dates on it because there's a lot of games.
There is a lot of games at the moment because there's a few things we want to do which the games are blocking, but we definitely will do it because it's boss. In fact, I've downloaded all the stuff for the season, all the kits and everything all ready for us.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Ready to go. It's ready.
Marley Hope says, I wonder who Happy in Health is.
Who?
Happy in Health. No,
Sleepy Bear says it. Why are our fans obsessed with signings? Poor business is the reason we've got this bloated squad. It's best to wait until the summer.
I actually agree. I want players who are better than the ones we've got at the moment. But when I see some of the players who are linked, I'm just like, no, just leave it. That's why we are. We've got to pay your penance, haven't you? And we are.
Mathew Jervis says, joined your Discord the other day, Ped. It's great. Loads of talk about Marvel.
Oh, the nerds.
Star Wars,
amazing.
DCL.
If anyone wants
DC.
If anyone wants our nerd social Discord link, it's honestly never ends. It's always chatting. Someone's always chatting. Tingo the other day, Cumbrian Toffee was on it and was like, "There's PlayStation 5s available right now if you want one," and he got one. It was either Argos or Game.
Amy's got.
But he threw it on the Discord and he got one. Yeah. There's always loads of stuff going on. Aaron keeps it ticking over all the time with all the trailer. Have you seen the trailer for Godzilla versus King Kong, by the way?
No.
You seen it, Ned? The trailer for Kong versus...
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. There's a bit in it, right? This is the trailer, right? Because, have you watched Kong Island? No. It's boss, honestly. I didn't think I'd like it, but it's really good.
It's great.
It is, isn't it? Right, so that introduces you to Kong. And then Godzilla, the first one was alright. Although they did it made out like Thingo was a big character in it.
They focused too far on the humans, didn't
no, but
they
made out like Thingo was huge, like a big part of it, wasn't he? Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
He didn't last that long. Nice. But I haven't seen the second Godzilla yet.
That's amazing.
Is it amazing?
It's more like
crap.
Do you like the old Japanese Godzillas?
I know you do because you're weird, but...
Well, they brought back basically loads of monsters and loads of music.
So in this,
and stuff.
don't ruin it for me, because I will have to watch it.
It is good.
This, they catch Kong because they need to fight. They need him to fight for them, right? So he's just boss for the start. And then Kong's on this ship, and they've got this little girl who's he's been on this island, and he's been talking. This little girl communicates with this little girl, not talk, but, and he's sitting there all sad. And the next minute you just see Godzilla coming up the water, and then they throw punches at each other and Kong. But the trailer's boss, because they put this music on. The music's brilliant, isn't it?
Have you not seen the original Godzilla versus
I don't
Kong?
care.
Where he shoved the tree down his throat.
But he gets this music starts coming on like it's like fight music, and you've got Kong throwing digs. Godzilla's like spitting fire, and they end up in this city, and the city looks amazing. It's like a Japanese city, and all the buildings are lit up. And you've got Kong throwing digs at him. Oh, it looks so stupid, but at the same time, looks like you could just lose a couple of hours in it, no problem.
You need to watch the second Godzilla.
I will. The only thing it's got Dingo in it, you might find really annoying. What's her name?
From
Stranger Things.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, I find it massively.
She's not really in it. She's not
She's
main
all right
role.
in that Sherlock Holmes thing. She's all right in
yeah.
that. But I do find her really annoying. Yeah. And she's a red.
Yeah.
She's very precocious.
Dick Hell says, Dick Hell update.
Go on then.
I asked about the George Foreman grill, but she wasn't having it. And when I think about it, it's probably better to be a vegetarian anyway. It's healthier and better for the planet. So I'm happy with that. As she said to me the other day, I want meat. I don't need meat. Right, okay, Dick. Okay. Let's break that down.
I want meat, I don't need.
I don't know.
Was that a euphemism?
Let's break that down, right, Dick. Okay. Being a vegetarian is probably better for the planet. But if you're not committed to it and it's only something that you want to do now and again by having a bit of meat, then I don't really think someone can tell you to be a vegetarian. I think that goes against your human rights. I'd be in touch with Geneva. I really would. I think it contravenes your international rights as a human being. But listen, I don't want to start any beef. So do what you need to do, Dick. I just find it mad that you continually have to ask for permission to do things.
This is a massively controversial statement from Pippin.
Well, if it's from Pippin, I already know it's controversial.
Massively controversial.
It's going to be chocolate based, I know.
The Last of Us, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
The Last of Us 2, 3 out of 10. You missed the 7 off the 3, Pippin. It's incredible.
The Last of Us 2
has
got the most Game of the Year awards ever. 261.
It should do. I played The Last of Us again because I wanted to play The Last of Us 2, obviously. And I found 60% of it to be just repetition. It was good, don't get me wrong, it was really good. The last 40% was brilliant. But the first part of that game is just kill it, go and sneak up on a zombie, kill it, an infected, go into the next thing, sneak up on the infected, shiv it, go into the next thing, sneak up on the infected. It was just the same game. It was just the same thing over and over again. Because in fact, the first time I played it, I stopped playing it because I got bored with it. And then when the second one was coming out, I replayed it all again. It was really good. Once you got out the city and away from all of that. This one is amazing and totally different and loads of different, it's like loads of different games all in one. You know what I mean? You're on horseback, you're in a boat at some stage, you're in cars.
Boats and hoes.
You're doing boats and joes. There's all sorts, you're doing all sorts. It's an amazing game.
Tell
but
me
each
why
to their
you
own.
like it
Each
without
to their own.
spoiling it.
Each to their own. Mathew Jervis says, nah, come on lads, Rom at battering, Zlatan's about 40. And what difference does age make there? He's as fit as anything. He's like blooming black belt in karate, he's like a beast. Lenny Plague says, when's Gabama back? And Charlie Greenway says, when is Gabama back? Just for the bet. Well, he's done the bet, hasn't he? Absolutely done the bet. Okay.
Big Jan says, finish Narcos and Narcos Mexico. What should I try next? I don't really know. Depends what you want to watch. Let us know in the comments. Jake Abbott says, I watched the first series of Fargo recently and told people it was a true story, as that's what it tells you at the start of the episode, only to find out that it's all complete. They're all made up. It says that at the beginning of the film and every show. It says, this is a true story, but the names have been changed to protect the people. Fargo is unbelievable. I need to watch the new one. But it's unbelievable. I love Fargo. It's such a good show. Ben Armstrong says, with Sims going to Blackpool and Dobbin injured, who's playing striker with the under-23s? I don't care. I couldn't care less. I could not care less. Honestly, who cares? Who's bothered? You bothered, Ned?
It's a part of development thing, isn't it?
You bothered, Ned?
I think Rhino might be.
No. See, that's how much
Especially
you're bothered.
if they're in the first team.
You think he's bothered that he hasn't got a striker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, obviously. He was bothered that he didn't have Small, didn't he?
It's a development side. To make players.
I know,
for the first team.
I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
But Unsworth definitely is.
Okay. I mean, that wasn't the question I asked you, but... what's Fabrizio Dingo saying? Joshua Xerxes update. Palmer made an official bid to loan him. Everton are still in the race, but Palmer are pushing. Which means that it might be good if we could get that transfer video out sometime today, Ned.
I just text you saying, do you want me to upload it?
Could have just asked me. Well, you can't upload it yet because we're doing this. What else is going on?
Junior Vieira says, hi, Ped and Baz, can you give a shout out to all the overseas fans? Hello to all the overseas fans. Let's hope the Blues get the 3 points tonight. Tough game, but we can do it. Maybe off a set piece, maybe. Adventures of Steve says, no, Vardy is balanced out by no Decore, possibly. Tom Gibbons says, how are you guys? Very well, thanks, mate.
Stuart Thompson says, it must be worth £3 a month to watch Ped trying to manoeuvre skillfully and yet nervously around positive my heartfelt admiration of Everton ladies' new signing. And leave Yannick alone, YouTubers. He is more honest than you realise. Dick L says, I remember Jermaine Defoe scoring 19 goals in Division 2 loan. He then returned to West Ham and his career never looked back. I don't see why Ellis Sims cannot do something similar. I mean, I could possibly see why, but that's a very good point, Dick. It's a really good point. Was it Division 2 he went to? He went to Bournemouth, didn't he? I think Division 2 when he scored those goals.
Well, is it like League 1 now?
That's what I mean, yeah.
Must be, yeah.
Or is Division 2 the Championship?
Depends.
I'm lost. Alfie Boy says, Tosin every window. I'm not leaving in this Wolf of Wall Street style.
Yeah, possibly.
Kieran Cook says, hopefully Leicester go with a back three. This will give us a big chance of winning. Let's go and get 3 points, but make sure we don't give them any penalties, as they seem to rely a lot on penalties for their away wins.
Pen every week, every game. Max Redfern says, do you think Everton will sign anyone before the deadline? Don't know. I think we have to said it all through January and in December that we have to get people out the door before we can consider people coming in. If Bernard and Tosin were to go, then maybe they probably would have to go and get someone, because there'd be 2 players down from the squad and 2 attacking players. Whether that's Zerky, I don't know.
There's a lot of rumours, as you said there. Tosin, Bernard,
John Joe as well.
See, the thing about it is, Everton would love to get Bernard and Tosin out. And John Joe is another one. But then that does create that problem, doesn't it? We were talking about it yesterday, weren't we, in the transfer video we did about the length of the transfer window and how everything seems to get done on the last few days.
Yeah.
And it does create a problem, because if those players do go, you really need one to come in.
Yeah.
Because we'd leave ourselves really short, because as we were saying, Richarlison is the backup striker, so if Richarlison has to play up front, then that means someone has to play on the left. Now, Iwobi sort of helped out with that a lot by his form.
So then, have you picked up an injury?
So I'm saying, you are looking at somebody then who can play in a couple of positions, and that's hard to do. Maybe this Xerxes kid is the one that they've been keeping on the outside just in case Tosin goes.
As a loan with a view. Well, we've got the transfer vid out, so check that out.
Simon says, Balassi signed the contract fair and square. It didn't work out, which is fair enough. Cannot understand why he's hated.
It's only a handful of people that think. Well, it's a few people, but each to their own, isn't it? They don't like him, but...
Tom says, when are the Villa and City games being played, gents?
Villa hasn't been rearranged, and City will be announced next week when it's getting played.
Georgie Redmond says, if fans were in stadiums, do you think we'd be doing better, worse, or the same?
I think we'd have won more home games, and I don't think we'd have won as many away games. So,
yeah,
it's hard to say because the league is mad. So would the league be this mad if there was stadiums were full? You'd probably have to say no, it wouldn't you?
I think it's helped us having no one in the stadiums to balance everything out in terms of going away mentality, but also maybe not. The players don't feel the overreactions either way as well. It's more. We say a lot of games are like training games. When you're invested as a fan and you're watching a game, we said this in the past. I mean, you can do this for other teams, but you don't always do it about yourself.
Yeah.
If a manager sends your team out and the plan is good and you get beat, managers will just say, we had our plan, something happened.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
that hasn't worked maybe a lot. But I look at like the Newcastle game. We got beat. He obviously sent his team out that day with a plan. It didn't quite work. But then that plan worked in other games. And he might have evolved that plan, tinkered with it slightly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens. That's where we, as fans, we always get caught up in defeats. But I don't think managers always get caught up. I think of Pep Guardiola at the beginning of the season, getting beat by Leicester, knowing he needed a centre-back. Got the centre-back. Centre-backs ended up brilliant. Dare I say, might be better than some Dutch fella. But it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You know, you learn from your bad performances. You learn that. You look at a team and go, no, that didn't work. Because it's real. Training about the same players all week in and week out. There's no surprises. You know, but it's like when you're playing PES and you hit your box when you're playing against a computer, and then you play against someone else online, and they're doing things that you haven't seen because the computer's always stays formulaic.
Yeah.
And I think you do learn from games, and you learn from losing games. The key, obviously, is to learn quick enough so you don't lose loads of games. But you'll go through good spells and bad spells. Now, the thing is, you've got to go. You hope you go through more good spells than you go bad spells. But it's a long season, loads of things. It's like when you play teams, we can all sit here and go, well, we all play each other twice. So it's not. But it doesn't work like that, does it? Because we might play a team, like, I don't know, anyone, West Ham, let's say. And on that day, West Ham might have all their players available. And yet you play them another time, or someone else plays them another time, and you're like, God, they battered them. It's like, yeah, because West Ham only had half a team that game, and that's
that's what
there's
it
a
is.
lot of ups and downs.
After Andrew Jeffrey says Moyes is doing well, he's doing so well, such a great manager. Adam Kerr says, I think we should get Ryan Gravenberch as young midfielder from Ajax, also but adept to the squad. Well, that's the one Brand said he couldn't get, because he's going straight to the top. So make of that what you will. Basic Trigonometry says 380 watching, only 70 likes. This is from before now. There's 430 watching and only 160 likes. Must be cop-heights, he says. Don't know. Marley says join Patreon now. James Dunlop says get the likes up. Pippin says how long did Bezet sign for? He's been here when Moyes was here. No, he wasn't. He was signed by Martinez in 2014. As well. Got a new contract, yeah.
Ryan Elliott says, funny enough, I was having a conversation about the second Godzilla film in the Nerd Social Discord the other day. I found it so boring, but I was shot down in the Discord pretty quickly. It's Discord for you, Ryan, mate. You know what I mean? James says, any truth in the Bernard stories? I think there's definitely movement there. Whether it happens or not, I'm not sure. Marley says, yeah, just said about the Palmer Xerxes rumour. Adam Conroy says you should watch Sweet Home on Netflix. I'm not aware of it. I've seen Sweet Home Alabama, which is a charming romantic comedy starring Reese Witherspoon. TalkSport Terry. Says, evening lads.
Yes, says lad.
There's only 6 more sleeps until we get the statement from Cenk Tosun about he wants to stay and fight for his place. Comes around quicker every year.
It could well happen. Listen, that could well happen.
Big TalkSport Terry.
Big
Jan says, anything like Queen's Gambit, Narcos and Snatch, all good. So anything in your top 3 recommendations, I will try. I loved Queen's Gambit. Oh, it's so good. So good. Lupin's good. Watched Lupin.
Yeah. Still only watched
5 episodes, really good. First half of the season, second half of the season is going to be later on. I think they're trying to build up a bit of hype about it. But I really like that. Omar Sy. So it's in French. You can have the subtitles or you can have the dubbed English. I went for the subtitles because, you know,
I've gone for the subtitles.
That's the way it is. Keith Powell says, can't see Xerxes being anything other than a win-win situation for Everton. 6 months loan, 8 months sign-on fee. Value will not devalue less than that. Profit either way.
Yeah, like I said, it seems to be the easiest option to bring in if Everton are interested in him, because he's someone who wouldn't demand to be playing. But you know, we'll have to see whether that goes on. Scout Submariner says, there you go, Baz gave it a like. Michael Billington says, don't think there is a decent Premier League referee. And Jason Sharp said, why didn't you two put the effort in and get on Tin Star with a £3 patron sign in the background? Freeman Printo says, you think Onyango and Small need to get loan moves or just keep continuing their development in the 23s?
I think they've got that window now where they both got it. Onyango's a little bit ahead. I'd like to see, put it this way, by next season, I'd like to see Onyango on the bench every week. I really feel like that's where he should be.
Yeah. But you have to keep developing, won't he? Small's only 16, loaned probably a little bit too early for him. Playing in the 23s for now, every game, and training with the first team will probably really help him. And then you look to do, maybe in 12 months' time, you look for the loan then when he's 17, and you're thinking, right, can he now go and play in a... You know, asking him to go on loan at the moment and asking a League 1 or 2 manager to put this 16-year-old in their team when they need results, not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen, so maybe in 12 months when he's like 17 and a half, if he's continuing to develop, then maybe they'd think about it.
It's what... At the end of the day, we were talking about this yesterday. The under-23s is... I don't know. I think if you're good enough, you step through the under-23s very, very quickly. I think the only thing the under-23s is really good for is when you're like 18 and 19 and maybe physically you're not ready for the Premier League. But I still think you've got to have that little bit of talent that would get the first team looking at you in training every day.
Yeah.
Because so far what we've genuinely heard is that players that are 16, 17, 18, if they're good enough, they're training with the first team. Because that's the point, isn't it? That's what you want. Think about all the best players you've come through. No one ever, you know what I mean? Like, think of people like Wayne Rooney, Fernando Jeffers, Michael Ball, Dawn, all those players.
Ross Barkley.
They never really, but the under-20s wasn't a thing. No. They might have played a few Resi games, but the buzz about them was from when they were like 16 and 17. Might have had a loan. Ross was sent on loan to... I think it was more to just beef them up a bit, to show what it was like to be kicked.
But don't forget, Ross had 2 broken legs. Otherwise he'd have been in Everton's first team even earlier.
But yeah, I think that Onyango definitely needs to be in the first team squad every week next year. Every week.
I agree. James Dunlop says the hate for Balassi is harsh. Yes, we need to move him on for his career. He needs to move on. But the hate is too much. And John Paul Austin says, does the lad mean he hates Yannick Balassi as a player? Surely he doesn't mean the person.
If you don't like him
I
as
don't
the
know,
player,
mate. If people don't like him, you can't. That's up to them. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I just think sometimes it's a little bit personal when it probably doesn't need to. What can you do? What can you do? Up the UTFT says West Ham are 3 points ahead of us and play 3 more games. The league table means nothing at the moment. Where are we? Fruin says chance to go above Liverpool tonight with a game in hand. It's still too early to say we are Champions League contenders. Or is it still too early? I don't think there's any way of saying whether we're contenders. We're contenders right now because if we won our 2 games in hand, or 3 games in hand on some teams, we would be second, I think, if we won the games in hand.
Yeah.
Joint second or whatever, so, or third. So we would be in the Champions League places. So you'd have to, if Everton win tonight, they go back into the top 4. So you'd have to say they are Champions League contenders at the moment. But the key is being Champions League contenders in April and May, isn't it? That's when that's all when it really matters. Look at Leicester last season. You know, they were beaten on the final day of the season and dropped out the Champions League places. They'd had a great season. So all Everton can do is look after themselves. Every other team will win and lose games, and you can look at it and I look at it and it annoys me. So I look at some crap teams winning games and it winds me up. But the reality is, it doesn't matter. It's just what we do. That's all.
I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was thinking if we win 10 more games from 21,
half games, yeah,
right, that would get us to 62 points.
Yeah.
Now, 62 points would normally get you Europe. 64 got us Champions League.
61.
61, yeah.
League.
So 62.
64 got Champions League last season.
62 would get us European football, right? So that's 10 wins. So that's Fulham. That's Sheffield United. That's Crystal Palace.
West Brom.
Right?
Brighton.
There's 5.
Newcastle.
There's 5.
Should.
Newcastle.
Should be 6.
Right, that's 6 if you to win those games. I'm not taking those games for granted.
No.
I'm just saying if you to win those games. And then you throw in Leicester tonight. Then you throw in
West Ham.
Then you throw in
Southampton
at home. Very quickly you can get to 10. You think about it, you think Everton are definitely going to win, like say 5 more.
Aston Villa.
Yeah. Let's say Everton are you would definitely think we're going to win 5 more games without an issue this season. So if you just add another 5 to that, and I'm not saying,
and a couple of them might be ones you don't expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't
like we've already done.
Could go to Anfield and beat them, and, you know, or something mad like that, or beat Man City at home on a, you know, you just never know, do you? It can happen. So we've just got it. I don't think we can get too far ahead of ourselves.
No,
we went into December, and people were telling us on this chat they couldn't see us getting more than 3 points with the fixtures. We had 3 or 4 points. And we won every game up until West Ham beat us. And yet we went into that West Ham game on New Year's Day, and I was expecting us to steamroll them. I thought we'll beat West Ham. I actually thought Sheffield United away was a harder game than West Ham at home. And yet we won at Sheffield United and lost at home. So
it's been the same for years. We win the games you don't expect to win, and the games you expect to win, you expect nothing but a win.
But to be fair though, Ned, we've played 17 games, we've won 10 games. Out of 17, that's unbelievable. We've won more than the current Premier League champions, and we've played 2 games less than them. So, you know, I know West Ham have won a lot, and Man United have won the most games. Leicester have won a lot of games, but Everton have won 10 games out of 17. So, like Ped just said, if we can get another 10 out the next 21. And there's fixtures in there that if Everton are to get into Europe, you would expect them to win. They'd have to win. If Everton are going to qualify for whatever European trophy it is, whether it be the Champions League or the Europa League, they're going to have to win the games that Ped's just said. They're going to have to. So if we're looking and going, it's 10 wins starting today. If Everton, in an ideal world, 3 o'clock on Saturday, we'll only need to win 8 more games because we'll have won tonight and on Saturday. It doesn't work like that. Like I've just said, going into West Ham and Wolves, which was the game we were more likely to win. It was West Ham at home. Wolves away they're a good side. It could have been a draw. We lost to West Ham, we beat Wolves. So the way this league is, It's mad. Anything can happen. You would never have said. I remember we were sat here in October, November, and he was telling me Liverpool had walked the league. They'll walk it, absolutely walk it. They've won 2 games in 10. So the way this league is, it's berserk. Everyone wrote Man City off in October, the top of the league now. And they can be 7 points ahead of other teams if they win the games in hand. So the way this league is, you said before, Southampton were top 4 or 5 weeks ago, now they're 11th. So it could, someone in the comments before said, do you think the league will settle down in the second half? Yeah, it's Sophie, the league's so cramped, do you think it'll settle down during the second half? We don't know, do we? We're at the halfway stage, and it's still not settled, is it?
It's man out. Well, normally we've got about a 10-15 gap between 4th and 5th. Same with 1st and 2nd, or 2nd and 3rd, and then you're 8th and you're 11th and so on. And it's all a bit of a mixed bag.
There's nothing you can do. Is that all Everton can do is go out and win as many games as they possibly can, and that's all you can do. And if you do that, then you give yourself the chance, don't you? You give yourself the chance to continue. All we can do is keep putting 3 points on the board. Remember when we finished 4th? I remember it dead vividly. An interview with Nigel Martin in about the February or March, and he was saying to him, what's the procedure, like how do you manage it? And he was like, you've got to take 6 points from 9. He said 7 is great, 7 will get you there. He said, but you've got to take 6 points from 9. So win 2, lose 1. And Spurs have done that for a number of years and got in the Champions League. Do it.
Mourinho always says get 6 points from 9, you get Europe.
Exactly, without a shadow. And in the Premier League, if you win 2 out of 3 games on a regular basis, you'll get Champions League. You will.
But if you calculate it from a league point of view, that's 70 points. Out of 114, is it?
So straight away, you're in the Champions League with 70 points. Most, apart from the year we finished 5th with 72 points. But even that year with Martinez, no one was putting Everton in the race for the Champions League. When Liverpool beat us at Anfield 4-0, everyone was like, they're in a crisis now. We won 7 games on the run or something after it. So, and then we ended up, when we were in the box seat, we ended up losing to Crystal Palace, to Southampton. Then City beat, we fell on our swords. So all you can do is just go, tonight's the big one, beat these, recuperate, Saturday's a big one. And then next Wednesday will become a big one at Leeds. We didn't even mention.
Big games every 3 days now.
So
it's much easier being where we are with a game in hand a couple of game in hands of teams above us.
Well, yes and no. Yes and
nice to have the points.
Dick L says the first Godzilla was pretty decent. Skull Island was boss. The second Godzilla was poor. I love the trailer for Godzilla vs Kong, but it could be a bit like Humanias. Roberto thought he was a good player from watching short clips. Nah, that is a good point. I like that.
It is.
And also, but depends if Godzilla has that wrist injury.
The wrist injury is
It's the worst injury a huge monster could have.
Definitely. It's a kryptonite.
It is. Brian Jones says, have you watched Night Stalker? Yeah, we mentioned it before. Jake Alvin says, what's the worst you've ever felt after a game? And the best, personally, it's the derby at Wembley for the worst. And maybe Spurs at home, the last 2-minute goals. Yeah, that derby was pretty bad, 2012.
Horrible.
I'd probably say Cup final 95 or Wimbledon 94 were pretty good in terms of just pure relief.
Cup final, definitely. Wimbledon was a celebration of
pure relief.
Relief, yeah.
Terry says, players like Small and Onyongo have a season in the under-23s at their ages. It's how it should be done. Then get a good loan the season after before making the decision. Age is on their side. Next season should be on Kunku and Branthwaite part of the first team squad, and the other 2 a year behind them. Feel like Gibson has fell through the cracks due to a bad choice of loan decisions.
And injury. We
talked about that yesterday in one of our shows,
Tuesday
didn't we?
Topic,
topic about Gibson. Yeah. But Branthwaite's still got another year, I think, on loan as well. Personally, for me,
he's only 18, isn't he?
I think he could have another year, a year or 2 on loan. Make that step up to a bigger club, maybe. I think Branthwaite would do well from having a loan from a team like Brighton or somewhere like that.
It's getting them to play him.
Yeah,
That's the problem, isn't it? Basic trigonometry says 450 plus watching and only 130 likes, now 209. So they're going up. You're doing well. Doing well. Collis King says, I don't worry about who we play now. The players coming around because if you play well, you'll go in the summer. Maybe if you don't play well, you'll go in the summer. Don't know. 6 points tonight. Let's hope Brendan struggles against Carlo. Says up the Toffees.
Villa beating Burnley 1-0.
Daddy.
Ollie Watkins.
At Burnley, innit?
At Burnley. Puts Villa above us.
Come on, Burnley. But what can you do? Like you
No,
said,
no,
we can't control anything. So we've just got to do our job,
Yeah,
haven't
of
we?
course.
Just got to do our job. George Horrocks Brennan says, hope you're doing well. Yes, we are, George. Cheers, mate. A win tonight will be incredible. Okay, that's just gone far too fast for me. Jay says, Gomez does look good, I agree, but he needs a solid defensive midfield playing next to him. Holgate could do well there. Yeah, I'd play one of Holgate or Godfrey in midfield tonight if it was my choice, definitely. Just to give us that little bit of mobility in there and a bit of strength in there, because these are very strong in the midfield. Obviously, they're missing Vardy, but it would be... I just think that's what I would do, because I think Dean will come back in at left back, unless he does.
Yeah,
unless he chooses to stay solid and puts Richarlison on the right and Dean
maybe
on the left.
Brian Jones says, Alan Ball is our best ever player, but do you think James could have the same impact? Be difficult because of the age. Alan Ball was young when he came to Everton, wasn't he? So, and he grew as a leader over the years. I mean, made an impact straight away, scoring his debut, didn't he? But in those 4 or 5 years, obviously winning the league in 69-70, he grew into being such a fan favourite, and he was brilliant. But Alan Ball was such an energetic player as well. Such a fit player, had a great midfield around him, good side around him, and James Rodriguez 29, slightly different stage of his career, and it'd be difficult. It would be difficult to replicate that, but such a brilliant player.
Yeah, definitely. Kyle Morrison says Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison will go if we don't get Champions League. They won't, will they? They won't though. Because if you've got clubs who are going to pay £100 million for each of them, then let it happen. But they won't. I don't think either of them will go, personally. Matt Prettyman says, cheers from Baltimore. Looking forward to getting these 3 points tonight. Hope so, Matt. Hope you're correct. Fruin Pinto says, do we have a good chance in the FA Cup this year? Well, we're in the 5th round, aren't we? And we're at home.
We'll find out.
Spurs are a good side, so it'll be tough, but if we beat them, we're in the quarters. The only problem is, this happens a lot to Everton, is that loads of good teams get through when we get through. Yeah. And it's the years that we go out early, loads of them go out early, but if you want to win a trophy nowadays, you've got to beat good sides, so all we can do is hope. Do it.
Said you've got to beat City.
Yeah, normally it is.
City haven't won the FA Cup for, what?
A year.
A year, yeah.
Yeah, well, they've won it once though in like 8 years.
They beat
No,
Watford
they
6-0,
won it
didn't
2 in a row,
they? About
didn't they?
46-0, that final, 18 months ago, yeah. But just got to do what you do. But they got to the semi last year, didn't they? Battered Arsenal and got beat 2-0.
Which was it where they were 2-0 down at Swansea in the semi, and then they came back and won, was it 3-2 or something?
I mean, it wasn't semi.
That was the quarters, I think, last year. Or the 5th round, when they didn't have VAR at Swansea. And
yeah.
One of the goals, yeah. Don't know, we'll see. We get a home draw in the Cups. Then why not? Why not do well? Finley Jones says easy win for Everton up the Toffees. Okay. Aidan Smith says top 4 tonight. Well, Everton would go 4th in the top 4 if they won. You know, it's a difficult game, but you never know. Ped only question, solitary confinement for 14 days, snog avoid, never see or hear from again. Stacey Solomon, Gemma Collins, and Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown, that would be
Yeah.
criminal act.
How old
wouldn't
is she? 16 now?
No, it's still...
Still too young, that. Got to be over 20 to even make it into that.
Stacey Solomon's all right. It's just her voice just annoys me. It just annoys me. But she's, you know.
You'd rather spend time with Stacey than Gemma Collins.
Oh
though.
God, Gemma Collins. I'd
The
bludgeon my own eyes out.
GC destroy you.
Bludgeon my
wouldn't
own eyes out.
She would just make your head wrecked because she just goes on and on.
What was it?
Thomas
What was it?
Galvin says,
Snog?
I'm from Jim.
What was it? Snog what?
Snog avoid and never see or hear from ever again.
Oh, Gemma Collins, never again.
Yeah, she's annoying. She's annoying, isn't she? GDI says players slowing coming back now could be a great ending to the season. Or slowly coming back, I think he meant. Could be a good end to the season, yeah.
Could be.
Very.
Right, are we done?
Yes, I think
I think
so.
we're done.
Yeah,
There you go.
done. Thank you very much for
Enjoy
joining us.
the game. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game tonight. I'll be live straight after the match with my reactions, and Baz will have his videos out as well. And then tomorrow on Patreon, we'll be doing the final word live as well. If you want to join us on Patreon, the link is in the description. And yeah, we'll be live as well. Live at 5 tomorrow on Patreon as well, like we are every single night. And that's why people love Patreon, because we have these chats every single day. So see you later.
Ciao.